The Chicago Bulls just came out as a winner of NBA free agency this offseason, signing DeMar DeRozan and Lonzo Ball, and here's what they bring to the team. Hey yo, what's good with y'all? My name is Will and welcome back to Will So Chill Hoops. In this video, I'll be explaining what we can expect from the Chicago Bulls next season with these two huge new additions in Lonzo and DeMar, what each player brings to the team and how they can make this team a lock for the playoffs if they're healthy. And I'd also like to talk about the signings of Alex Caruso and Tony Bradley just real quick. I think most of us know what Caruso is about. He hustles, he makes winning plays, he brings good defense, and the Bulls need that in their backcourt off the bench next to Kobe, who I think is perfect for the six-man role. Tony Bradley is a more underrated signing to me. He'll get minutes as the backup center for Chicago, a spot that really needed to be filled. But of course, the big signings were Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan, who were involved in the signing trades. Us Bulls fans have had our eyes on Lonzo Ball for a long time. I remember wanting to trade for him as early as 2019, up to last season's trade deadline as well. And you'll see soon why we want him when I break down what he brings to the table. Just an excellent fit next to Zach LaVine. Then adding DeMar, that gets this team in the playoffs. Such an efficient scorer and playmaker, a much different player than he was in Toronto. But let's look at what exactly Lonzo Ball is bringing to the table for the Chicago Bulls. First of all, he is a much improved shooter. Over the last 2 seasons, we have seen him shoot over 37% from 3 on higher volume. And this season, he came close to shooting 38% from 3 on 8 attempts per game. And on pure catch and shoot threes, he shot just under 41%, which is going to be huge for the Bulls, who struggled in those catch and shoot opportunities last season, ranking 21st in the NBA. I also need to talk about his defense, which is solving a bigger issue for the Bulls that we've had this season. Playing Kobe White and Zach LaVine at the same time was terrible for perimeter defense. Lonzo is an above average defender around the perimeter and a great help defender. Plus, his length as a point guard allows him to make more plays on that end of the ball. The Bulls have been really bad in the pick and roll defense with Vucevic, who was just getting baked, and Lonzo was going to be able to make that a little bit better. But lastly, his IQ and passing. He's more of a true point guard than Kobe White. Kobe is a score first guy who really isn't what you want next to Zach LaVine all the time. I think Lonzo's playmaking in the half court is overrated because he's not much of a threat in the half court with the ball in his hands. He doesn't really give defenses a reason to put focus onto him and send help. But in transition, he's elite. The Bulls are going to be doing a lot of running even off rebounds because Zoe can make those full court passes off a rebound to guys like Zach LaVine, even the lobs from beyond half court as well. We have all seen this before. This is going to make Chicago's transition offense unstoppable. And even in the half court, having a guy like Lonzo Ball with a high IQ is going to help out the offense. He can still make some plays in the half court, but that's what guys like DeMar DeRozan will be there for. Because DeMar DeRozan is now a high level playmaker at this point of his career. Before he went to San Antonio, he was never this great. When it comes to playmaking, you need to be a threat to score yourself before anything, so the defense will put more attention onto you. But making the right reads and getting the pass to the open man off the help defense is what ultimately makes the playmaker. And now DeMar DeRozan does this extremely well. He's got experience running the pick and pop with a Marcus Aldridge, and that will definitely be a set that gets ran with Nikola Vucevic. He can make the other reads on the court, like hitting the guys in the corners and wings off help. Zach LaVine is now going to have a second guy next to him that can create offense not just for himself but also others. And I expect that this load taken off of LaVine on the offensive end of the court will allow him to put more energy and effort on the defensive end of the ball like we've seen him do in these Olympics. His ball pressure has actually been huge, definitely a capable defender, but it hasn't been put on display with the Bulls with him having to carry the offensive load. And I also think that goes both ways too. I feel like DeMar will be a better defender since Zach can take some pressure off of him. They're going to be complementing each other very well. And we all know what DeMar brings offensively. He is one of the best mid-range scorers in the NBA, pulling up off the dribble, creating his own shot from these spots. But he's also one of the best there is at getting to the rim and finishing. He's a high-level slasher that shoots 63% around the rim last season, and in previous seasons he shot over 70%. That threat of him driving will open up more and more opportunities for teammates as the defense collapses down to help, which makes spacing very important for a player like DeMar, and the Bulls have that spacing, which is why I believe he is such a good fit for this team. The lineup that I expect them to surround him with is Ball, LaVine, Williams, and Vucevic. Lonzo Ball shoots over 40% on catch and shoot threes, LaVine shoots 48% on them, Williams shoots 39.8%, and I expect that to get even better. And Vucevic at 39.9% is one of the best catch and shoot 3-point centers in the league, but he'll also be a huge threat at the mid-range area too, just like LaMarcus Aldridge was for the Spurs. So DeMar is surrounded with above average shooters on the catch and shoot three. That's giving him a lot of space that he needs to work so he can score. So those two were excellent additions to the Chicago Bulls, bringing in two guys that solve problems while also assuring that the fit is there. They went out and they got Vucevic at the trade deadline, and now they've made these big free agency moves. I think the most important thing about these moves though is that the Bulls are showing they can use their market to bring in big names and be aggressive in free agency with this new front office. This front office has turned a lineup of White, LaVine, Williams, Markkanen, and Carter Jr. into Ball, LaVine, DeRozan, Williams, and Vucevic. Three players who are all-star caliber right now in DeRozan, LaVine, and Vucevic. They drafted Ayo Dosunmu, who was a steal in the second round of this draft, and I believe the Williams pick from 2020 will also work out. This front office with Karnisovas leading the way has been incredible. If they want something, they are gonna go out there and get it. They wanted a backup point guard that could complement Kobe White well, so they got Alex Caruso. They wanted a starting point guard that could complement Zach LaVine well, and they got Lonzo Ball when all these other teams wanted him. The Clippers wanted him, the Celtics wanted him. A lot of teams wanted Lonzo Ball. He's a good point guard. But it was the Chicago Bulls that ended up getting him. And the same could be said for DeMar DeRozan. There were other teams that wanted him. The Clippers were going to offer him a contract, but DeMar turned down a contract from the Clippers to come to the Chicago Bulls. This front office is bringing basketball back in Chicago with this franchise. And now the Bulls should be back in the playoffs for the first time in 5 seasons since this rebuild started. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, a like would be very appreciated, and remember to subscribe for more great basketball content like this. Speaking of great basketball content, here's 2 other videos I've made, so check out one of those if you are interested. But I'm out of here, and remember, keep on hooping.